And then you're going to look at me and ignore the bright light as best you can.
I'm rolling.
Okay, so that I have it on the recording, could you say and spell your first and last name again for me, please?
My name's Edward Kozak, Edward Kozack.
Well, let's talk about the home visit. Tell us about your first experience doing it. What was going through your mind the first time you went on a home visit?
Well, to my surprises, I really thought we were going out there to help people, and I didn't realize how much we were actually helping ourselves. I think I walked away from the first visit with much more than what the client actually received. Of course, they get a little bit of help, and that's great. But it's really, as Craig was saying, it's really more of a helping hand than it is just help. Helping people out of where they're at, what they're in. It's very rewarding to be a Vincentian.
I don't think most people would understand what that means, that you get more out of it than they get out of it. I think that's a confusing concept for people. How can you get more out of it?
Well, I think that anybody who works in any sort of volunteerism gets a reward out of it. You get to feel better. You feel like you've helped someone else who needed help. And, it gets right down to your soul. You feel better. I do anyway.
It's the ultimate in person to person. You're
Yes.
in their living room or at their dining room table. It changes the dynamic from that traditional social service model.
Well, and I think it's much tougher on the client than it is on us to show up there. And I say that because it's much harder to pick up that 300-pound phone and call and ask for help than it is to go try to provide some help. I'm sure pride gets in the way at times, and it's tough on them. And they don't know us. I mean, they open their doors and let us come into their homes. That's could be pretty risky business, but it's really an act of faith in terms of trusting people that are coming to help you, and you trusting them that they're coming to help you. I know that sounds like it's talking in a circle, but it really is. You develop a mutual trust with the client, and they develop a trust with you. And in many cases, we end up going back to the same location, and there's already a bond there that makes it easier for them to ask and easier for you to get there and get it done. And for me, it's just a great feeling.
Do some folks stay with you in your mind through the years that you visited, that you think of from time to time, that you may not have seen?
Well, I think that kind of goes both ways. You do your own soul searching. I mean, we've all been through something in our lives. Maybe not exactly the same type of thing, but we all go through trials and tribulations, so to speak, and we all have to find a way to overcome that. And some of that experience we have on our own makes it easier to help other folks that are going through similar events. It doesn't have to be exactly the same type of event, but things happen in your life that knock you down, and having a helping hand there to help you get back up is, I think, tremendous.
The home visit also makes you challenges you on being judgmental. There's that tendency, right? We're human beings. Have you felt that struggle at times when you've been on a home visit, where you've thought, how did they get in this situation? Why did they make this? I mean, it makes you have to struggle with that from time to time.
Ultimately, when you're there at the visit, it doesn't matter how they got to where they're at. If they're in that situation and they need help, the first thing is to try to right the ship before you go sailing off in a different direction. And that's really helping them get back on their feet so they can think logically and they can make the right decisions on their own. We're not there to make decisions for them. I would never espouse that any of us do that type of work, but the answer is we're trying to help them steer back to where they need to be. And ultimately, that's back towards Jesus Christ. I mean, that's really what we're looking for here. We don't want them to look to us, per se, for help. We want them to look to Jesus Christ.
How has being involved with the society and doing something like the home visit helped you grow in your own spirituality over these years?
Number one, it helps pull you tighter to the church. You know, we're part of the church, and it gives you a chance to contribute a little more directly than you normally would. It's one thing to donate things to St. Vincent de Paul for further shipment on to the clients, but it's another thing altogether to actually get in that link and actually be the person who's helping deliver. because the delivery piece, it becomes much more personal. And getting yourself into that link helps tie the church, Jesus Christ, to these customers, to the clients, if you will.
And the folks you meet with, you sense in them sincere gratitude for the visit and for the assistance you provide?
It's been my experience that I've never seen one that wasn't both gracious and thankful. So I guess I'm batting 100%.
4 years of Vincentian.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine not being a part of this society?
No, and in fact, my wife and I started at another church, and being a Vincentian is a very portable skill that you can take with you to pretty much any Catholic church. And there's a lot of things in the community you can contribute to, too. I mean, St. Vincent de Paul is not the end state for everybody who wants to volunteer. Like myself, I'm retired, so I have time to contribute to a number of different charities, and it makes you feel good.
No.
And it gets you out of the house, and if you're retired, that's not always a good thing.
Thank you for your service to the society. Thanks for talking with us.
Thanks.
Appreciate